Fascinating stuff.
Excited for this one.
I think this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, me too.
We're going to be talking about blockchain development.
Blockchain development, that's right.
And we're going to be going through kind of like a guide.
Yeah, we found this awesome guide.
For how to become a blockchain developer.
It's really cool.
So we're going to try to break this down and explain
Yeah.
it to people who maybe are new to the space.
Exactly.
So, yeah, let's just get right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So first of all, like, what is
Yeah.
blockchain? Can you explain it?
Sure. So in simple terms, you can think of a blockchain as like a digital ledger
Okay.
that keeps track of transactions.
Okay.
And it's not just any ledger. It's copied and distributed across a whole network of computers.
So it's like a shared Google Doc
Yeah, kind of.
where everyone has access to it.
Exactly. And the cool thing is
Okay.
that no one can erase or change the history of transactions on a blockchain.
So it's like a really, really secure Google Doc.
Yeah, way more secure.
Okay.
This is where the concepts of decentralization and immutability come in.
Ooh, big words.
Decentralization just means that there's no single authority controlling the blockchain.
Okay.
It's spread out, which makes it really hard to take down or manipulate.
Gotcha.
And immutability means that once a transaction is recorded,
Yeah.
it's permanent.
Okay, so no going back.
No changing history there.
All right, that makes sense. But why should we care?
Right. Good question.
Like, what makes blockchain so important?
Well, imagine systems where trust is built into the technology itself.
Okay.
You don't have to rely on third parties like banks or governments.
Mm-hmm.
That's the potential of blockchain. It's about creating a more transparent, secure, and efficient way of doing things.
So, like, what kind of things are we talking about?
Well, blockchain can transform tons of industries like finance,
Okay.
supply chain management, even art and collectibles.
Interesting.
You've got cryptocurrencies, DeFi, DAOs, NFTs, the list goes on.
So, like, how would that work in real life, though?
Okay, so let's say you want to buy a house.
Huh.
Right now, that process involves a ton of paperwork, banks, lawyers.
Yeah.
It can take months.
It's pain.
With blockchain, you could potentially streamline that whole process.
Okay.
Imagine a system where all the necessary documents and transactions are securely stored and verified on the blockchain.
So everything's like digital and automated?
Exactly. It could make buying a house faster, cheaper, and more secure.
That would be amazing.
Right, and that's just one example.
Okay, so now I'm definitely interested.
Yeah.
But how do I actually become a blockchain developer?
All right, so you want to get your hands dirty?
Yeah, let's do it.
First, you got to dive into the world of smart contracts.
Smart contract.
These are like self-executing contracts written in code.
Okay.
They automate agreements on the blockchain.
So, like, if I wanted to buy an NFT.
Exactly. A smart contract would make sure the whole transaction goes smoothly.
Okay.
It would verify ownership, handle the transfer, and record everything on the blockchain.
All without any middleman.
Exactly. No need for a third party.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
So what kind of programming languages would I need to learn?
There are a few popular ones. Solidity is the most common for Ethereum development.
Okay.
Solidity.
Then there's Viper, which is known for its security focus, and Rust is gaining popularity.
So many options.
Yeah, you got to choose your weapon of choice.
All right. So besides smart contracts, what else? Well, you'll also need to get familiar with crypto wallets.
Crypto wallets.
These are digital tools that let you store, manage, and interact with your cryptocurrencies in blockchain applications.
So it's like my digital bank account.
Yeah, you could think of it like that.
Yeah.
MetaMask and Trust Wallet are a couple of popular examples.
Gotcha.
And then you've got IDEs, or integrated development environments.
IDs.
These are basically your coding playgrounds where you write and test your code.
Okay.
Hard Brownie and Truffle are some popular ones.
So it's like where the magic happens.
Exactly where you bring your blockchain ideas to life.
Awesome.
Oh, and we can't forget about decentralized storage.
Decentralized storage. What's that?
So all this data on the blockchain, where does it live?
Good question.
Platforms like IPFS and Arweave allow for secure and distributed storage of data on the blockchain.
So it's like having a giant hard drive that everyone shares.
Yeah, it's like a shared hard drive spread across the entire network.
So no one can just like delete it or something.
Exactly. It's designed to be resilient and censorship resistant.
Okay, so we've covered smart contracts, wallets, IDEs, and decentralized storage.
That's a lot, I know.
It is a lot, but it's starting to make sense.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
But are there any other essential skills or concepts I should be aware of?
Absolutely. You'll want to explore layer 2 blockchains.
Layer 2 blockchains.
Imagine Ethereum is like a highway and it gets congested with all the transactions happening.
Okay, I can picture that.
Layer 2s are like building express lanes on top of that highway.
So it makes things faster.
Exactly. They increase capacity and speed things up.
Makes sense.
Uh-uh.
What are some examples of those?
Arbitrum and Optimism are two popular ones built on Ethereum.
Okay.
They're helping to solve the scalability challenge and reduce transaction fees.
That's important.
It is for both developers and users.
Okay, so where do I even begin with all this learning?
Well, Ethereum.org is a fantastic resource.
Okay, Ethereum.org.
And don't underestimate the power of community.
Oh, yeah.
Join blockchain communities, attend conferences, follow industry experts.
So it's like diving into a whole new world.
It is, and there are so many people willing to help you along the way.
That's good to know. I was feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Don't worry, it's a steep learning curve, but it's definitely worth it.
Okay, so let's take a step back for a second.
Sure.
We've talked about smart contracts
Yes,
and the languages used to write them,
right.
but let's break down what makes them so important
Okay, good idea.
for the whole blockchain ecosystem.
So smart contracts are like the heart of blockchain functionality.
Okay,
They automate complex transactions and agreements without needing a middleman.
so it's like a regular contract.
Yeah, but way more efficient.
Okay,
No more paperwork lawyers or delays.
so if I wanted to buy an NFT again,
Exactly.
a smart contract would handle everything behind the scenes.
Yeah, it would make sure the transaction is secure and legitimate.
Got it.
It would verify your ownership, transfer the NFT to you, and
Yeah,
record everything on the blockchain.
all in a transparent and immutable way.
Exactly, no room for fraud or disputes.
That's really powerful.
And the best part is it can be applied to so many different things, not just NFTs.
Like what else?
Supply chain management, voting systems, anything you can think of.
So blockchain developers are like the architects of this new world.
I like that analogy, you got it.
So security must be a big deal then.
Oh, absolutely. Since blockchain is immutable,
Mm-hmm.
security is paramount.
Okay.
You don't want to deploy code with errors or vulnerabilities.
Right, because you can't go back and change it.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you need to be extremely meticulous.
So what can I do to assure the safety of my code?
Well, there are tools like Slither and Mythic.
Slither and Mythic.
Yeah, they help you identify vulnerabilities in your code.
So they're like super spell checkers for blockchain code.
Pretty much, they catch those pesky errors before they become big problems.
That's good to know.
And you also need to adopt secure coding practices and understand common attack vectors.
So think like a hacker.
In a way, yes, you need to constantly anticipate potential vulnerabilities and build defenses against them.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the front end?
The front end, yes.
How do users actually interact with these blockchain applications?
That's where front-end frameworks like React Angular and Vue.js come in.
Okay.
They allow you to build user-friendly interfaces.
So it's like building a website, but it connects to the blockchain.
Exactly, you got it.
Cool.
And for that, you'll need client libraries like ethers.js and web3.js.
Ethers.js and web3.js.
These libraries provide the tools to communicate with the blockchain.
Wow, so it's like learning a whole new language.
It is, in a way, it's fascinating how it all connects.
This is mind-blowing.
It's definitely a whole new world, but with so much potential.
All right, so I think we've covered a lot of ground in this first part.
We've laid the foundation,
Yeah.
explored some essential skills and tools,
Mm-hmm.
and even touched upon some advanced concepts.
But there's so much more to explore.
Absolutely.
In the next part, we'll delve deeper into some of the practical considerations of blockchain development.
Yeah, like choosing the right platform.
Right, and navigating the whole development process.
It's going to get even more exciting.
So stay tuned, folks,
We'll be back.
for part 2 of our blockchain development deep dive.
See you soon. Welcome back to our deep dive.
Yeah, feeling good after that first part.
Lots to unpack.
There is. It's a lot, but
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
Yeah, definitely.
But I have to say, I'm still a bit intimidated by the whole thing.
I get it. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, like going from just understanding the basics to actually writing code,
Yeah.
building applications, it feels like a huge leap.
It can feel that way, but remember, everyone starts somewhere.
Okay, that's true.
Even the most experienced blockchain developers were once beginners.
So let's say I'm ready to take the plunge.
Okay, you're ready to dive in.
I want to become a blockchain developer.
Awesome.
What are some of the first practical things I need to consider?
Well, before you even write a single line of code,
Yeah.
you need to choose a blockchain platform to build on.
Okay, so like Ethereum, Solana, Polygon?
Exactly, all those different ecosystems.
There are so many.
There are. And each platform has its own unique features, strengths, and weaknesses.
Okay, so how do I choose?
Well, Ethereum's the most established.
Right, I've heard of that one.
It has the largest developer community,
That's a good.
but it can be slow and expensive to use.
Oh, okay.
Then you have Solana and Polygon,
Yeah,
known for their speed and low transaction fees.
that sounds good.
But they might not have the same level of security or developer support.
So it's a trade-off.
It is. There's no perfect platform.
So what should I consider when making this decision?
Think about the type of application you want to build. DeFi or NFTs, Ethereum's still the king.
Okay.
But if you need high transaction throughput, low fees, Solana or Polygon might be better.
And what about for like enterprise-grade applications?
You might want to consider permissioned blockchains like Hyperledger Fabric.
Okay, so research is key.
Definitely research is your friend.
Got it. So once I've chosen my platform,
Mm-hmm.
what's next?
Then you can start setting up your development environment.
Okay, so do I need a supercomputer?
Haha, no, not at all.
Okay, good.
A regular computer with a decent internet connection is enough,
Yeah.
but you will need to install specific software tools,
Okay.
depending on the platform you choose.
Like what kind of tools?
Well, one of the most important is a code editor.
Okay.
That's where you'll write and edit your smart contracts.
Makes sense?
Some popular choices are Visual Studio Code, Atom, and Sublime Text.
Okay, I've heard of those.
They have features like syntax highlighting and code completion.
So they make coding easier.
Exactly. They help you write clean and efficient code.
Got it. What else?
You'll also need a compiler.
A compiler? What's that?
So a compiler translates your human-readable code
Yeah.
into machine-readable instructions that the blockchain can understand.
So it's like a translator for the blockchain.
Exactly. It helps the blockchain make sense of your code.
Okay, that makes sense.
Each platform has its own compiler.
So like for Solidity.
You'd use the Solidity compiler?
Okay, and for Viper.
The Viper compiler, you got it.
All right, so after I've written and compiled my code,
Mhm.
what happens then?
Then you need to deploy it to the blockchain.
Deploy it.
Yeah. You're basically submitting your compiled code to the network.
So it can be executed. Yeah.
Exactly. You're launching your code into the blockchain universe.
Okay, that sounds exciting.
There are tools and services that can help you with this, depending on the platform you're using.
So for Ethereum,
You might use Remix IDE or Truffle.
got it. What else is there?
We also need to talk about version control.
Version control, what's that?
It allows you to track changes to your code, collaborate with others, and revert to previous versions if needed.
So it's like a time machine for my code.
Exactly. You can always go back to a working version,
That's really useful.
especially when working with a team.
Okay, what tools are used for this?
Git is the most popular version control system.
Okay, Git.
You'll need to learn the basic commands and workflows.
So it's like learning another language.
Yeah, but this language helps you manage your code.
Got it.
And along with Git,
Yeah.
you'll want to use a repository hosting service
Repository hosting service.
like GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket.
Okay,
These platforms provide a central location to store your code.
so it's like a cloud BS garage for all my blockchain projects.
I like that analogy.
Okay.
You can access them from anywhere, collaborate with others,
Mhm.
and keep everything organized.
Okay, that makes sense.
And speaking of collaboration,
Yeah,
let's not forget the importance of community.
the blockchain community is pretty awesome, right?
It's one of the most welcoming and supportive communities out there.
So I should get involved.
Definitely engage with other developers, attend meetups, participate in online forums.
Okay.
It's a great way to learn from others and get support.
It's like having a global network of blockchain buddies.
Exactly.
You got it.
So, are there any unique challenges I should be aware of?
Oh, there are definitely some challenges.
Okay, like what?
Well, one of the biggest is the immutability of the blockchain.
Right, we talked about that.
Once you deploy your code, it's very difficult to change it.
So, no room for error?
Pretty much you need to be extremely meticulous in your coding and testing.
So, testing is crucial.
Absolutely. You need to ensure that your code is functioning correctly, handling different scenarios, and free from vulnerabilities.
It's like putting my code through a rigorous boot camp.
Exactly. You need to make sure it's battle ready.
Okay, what kind of testing should I do?
There's unit testing, integration testing, and end-to-end testing.
So many types of testing.
Each one focuses on a different aspect of your code
Okay,
and helps ensure its quality and reliability.
got it. What else?
Then there's the concept of gas fees.
Gas fees.
Yeah, these are fees you pay to execute transactions on the blockchain.
So it's like paying tolls on the blockchain highway.
Exactly. You need to be mindful of gas costs
Okay,
and optimize your code to minimize them.
makes sense. Anything else?
And finally, there's the issue of scalability.
Right. Some blockchains can get congested.
Exactly. It can lead to slower processing times and higher fees.
Nobody wants that.
Thankfully, developers are working on solutions.
Like layer 2 blockchains?
Exactly. Layer 2s and other scaling techniques.
It's an ongoing process. Blockchain development is constantly evolving.
So as a developer, I need to stay up to date.
Absolutely. Continuous learning is key in this field.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of practical considerations.
We have. It's a lot to think about.
But it's also really exciting.
It is. There's so much potential in this space.
So let's shift gears for a moment and talk about what people are actually building with blockchain technology.
Sounds good. Let's explore some real-world use cases.
All right, so we're back for the final part
Part 3.
of our blockchain development deep dive.
Let's do it.
And I'm really excited about this part
Me too.
because we're going to be talking about what people are actually doing with blockchain.
Yeah, we've covered the basics, the challenges.
Well-
Now it's time to see it in action.
Exactly, like what kind of cool things are people building?
Well, one area that's super hot right now is decentralized finance, or DeFi.
DeFi, okay, I've heard that term,
Yeah, it's everywhere these days.
but I'm still a bit fuzzy on what it actually is.
Okay, so DeFi is basically a parallel financial system built on blockchain.
Okay,
It's like an alternative to traditional finance.
so no more banks.
Well, not exactly.
Uh-huh.
It's more about giving people more control over their finances.
Okay, I like that.
So imagine lending or borrowing money without a bank,
Okay,
trading assets directly with others.
no middleman.
Exactly, and having full control over your financial data.
That sounds pretty revolutionary.
It is. It's about creating a more open, transparent, and accessible financial system.
So are people actually using DeFi platforms?
Yeah, more and more people are jumping in.
Really?
It's still early days, but we're seeing a lot of growth.
Like what kind of things can you do on these platforms?
You can lend out your crypto and earn interest.
Yep.
You can borrow crypto against your assets,
It's interesting.
and you can trade cryptocurrencies on decentralized exchanges.
So it's like a whole financial ecosystem.
Exactly, and it's all powered by blockchain.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. But blockchain is not just about finance, right?
No, definitely not.
What are some other areas where it's making a difference?
Well, another big one is supply chain management.
Supply chains, yeah, that's a huge industry.
It is, and blockchain can make it way more efficient.
How so?
Think about all the steps involved in getting a product from point A to point B.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Manufacturers, shippers, retailers, all these different parties. And all that paperwork and data can lead to inefficiencies, delays, even fraud.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how does blockchain help?
Blockchain creates a shared immutable record of everything.
Okay.
So everyone involved can see exactly where a product is, who's handled it, and what conditions it's been subjected to.
So it's like giving each product a digital passport.
Exactly. It brings transparency and accountability to the whole process.
So it prevents fraud and streamlines everything.
Exactly. It makes supply chains more efficient and cost-effective.
That's really cool. What other applications are there?
Well, blockchain is being used to revolutionize voting systems,
Okay.
to enhance digital identity management,
Interesting.
and even to empower artists and creators through NFTs.
Ah, NFTs. Those are everywhere these days.
They are, and for good reason.
But I still don't fully get what they are.
Okay, so NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, are unique digital assets.
Yeah.
They represent ownership of something.
Like what?
Digital art, a collectible item, even virtual land in a metaverse.
So it's like a digital certificate of authenticity.
Exactly, and because they're on the blockchain,
Yeah.
they're secure, verifiable, and easily transferable.
So if I buy an NFT, I know I'm the only one who owns it.
That's right, and you can easily sell it to someone else if you want.
That's pretty cool. So NFTs are changing how we think about ownership.
Absolutely, they're creating new opportunities for creators and collectors.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the people behind all this.
The blockchain developers.
Yeah, what advice would you give to someone who wants to get into this field?
I'd say embrace the learning journey.
Okay.
It's a constantly evolving field, so be prepared to learn and adapt.
So start with the basics.
Exactly. Learn how blockchain works, explore different platforms,
Mm-hmm.
and get comfortable with smart contract programming languages.
Okay.
And don't forget about the community.
The blockchain community is pretty awesome.
It is. It's so welcoming and supportive.
So I should join online forums, attend meetups.
Yeah, all of that.
Okay, and what about actually building stuff?
Don't be afraid to experiment, build your own projects, try different tools.
So learn by doing.
Exactly. The best way to learn is by getting your hands dirty.
Well said. So that wraps up our deep dive into blockchain development.
It's been a fun one.
It has. We've covered a lot of ground.
From the basics to the challenges to the amazing things people are building.
And hopefully we've inspired some future blockchain developers out there.
I hope so.
So until next time, keep on exploring, keep on learning.
Come building.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.